What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Outerzone, the official podcast of Formula Drift. And we have the podium show live. I mean, if you were in attendance, it was definitely live. But here in New Jersey, Adam LZ, Cody Bakchis, James Deane. We're going to hang out, we're going to talk, and we're going to find out what's next for them. And big surprise at the end, so make sure to listen to the whole thing. You got to be professional. All right. How's everybody feeling? I feel like that's, hot, obviously, right?
A little muggy.
A little muggy?
It was toasty.
I'm exhausted, if I'm honest. Like, literally exhausted.
I bet. Do you guys all run cool suits?
Yeah.
Looking for the tunes.
Yeah. I took mine off because right now, I don't know how Adam's wearing it because the cool suit without cold water run through it is like a hot suit.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I think you might be right.
Take that thing off and just go bare underneath, man.
You can do it right now. I mean, we'll get lots of views.
It's really difficult. It's pretty tight.
Watching Adam take his shirt off for 5 minutes, just struggling the whole time.
Yep.
Oh, all right.
Oh, look at that.
I don't know who those are for, but that's got a Rockstar logo on it, right, Andy?
Do you want one?
I mean, I've got this, so. Those are cute.
What a subtle flex, man.
Mine is somewhere else.
Oh, man. All right, so I really feel like this track comes down to initiation. Adam, I'm not going to say that you won last year due to the initiation, but this is a huge part of it. Like, huge gangster flick in every time. Same strategy this year?
Yeah, I mean, more than anything, I guess I'll say it now. Like, if you can if you can throw it in, I don't want to say backwards there, but if you can throw it in a way that you can be on throttle for that entire zone, you're going to be faster. And if someone throws it on the inside, it's going to fuck them up.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't
No,
know.
we're good. It's
Okay.
fine. I don't know. We might keep it.
Yeah.
Odie, same thing?
Honestly, I think that was it was a battle of initiations starting, Final Four.
Yeah.
And everyone initiates differently, and everyone's gripped up. So everyone's hucking it super hard. And if you come up a little bit shallow as the chase, it's a huge, deficit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It gets different every time, and especially with the track gripping up towards the end, like as a lead driver, you're not even sure what's going to happen because like you can grip these cars up to a point where you start losing the front end, and that's what you need to be careful of. So yeah, it's challenging.
You mean you had feeling in your front end all throughout Zone 1?
Sorry? Oh yeah.
Front end goes
Oh
away.
yeah. She jumps.
Yeah.
What size front tires do you guys run?
I'm at 275/40.
Oh, 265.
235, baby.
Yeah, but mine is off the ground most of the time.
He's got one wheel in the front.
Yeah. Jesus, 235?
Yep.
Were you plowing, though?
At 50 PSI, baby.
Really?
Oh, so you don't want the grip.
Nope, I'm just sliding around.
Oh,
Yep.
okay, yeah.
Oh, if I ever understeer, it's game over.
Yeah, there's no recovering that.
Yeah.
You got no time for that. That's crazy.
But what weight is your car?
I don't know, whatever weight it's supposed to be.
Top secret.
Yeah. That's got to be like 2,900.
What size rear tire?
285.
Okay, so
It doesn't make sense on paper,
you're
but
probably
it feels
the
great.
lightest. I'm a little bit heavier, and this
the
dude
heaviest.
with 315. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice
we're
to
well
make.
up there.
Yeah, that
Them
thing is thick.
315s
So-
are mean, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone had completely different driving styles because of the tire as well.
Yeah.
Weight difference in the cars is pretty big percentage-wise.
I'm probably
it's wild.
I'm probably the heaviest in the front. I still got a front radiator.
Oh, right.
But I think we're all learning that that's not such a bad thing in drifting.
Yeah.
I know.
It
Yeah.
is. Like for pivots and transitions and stuff, it's way more manageable.
I love it.
It's funny how we've changed that. Like I remember Forsberg pushing batteries to the back and fuel tank to the back, and it was all about the pendulum weight, and then it's everything starts to come inboard again. It's do we get to the point now where everything goes forward? Like we just try and put as much weight forward as we can?
I feel like it depends on the track because this one, there's a lot of quick transitions, so I feel like it helps to have the weight forward. But if you're
Right.
on a track like Orlando, I don't know about you guys, I was struggling on the run-up because I felt like I didn't have enough weight on the rear, so I just could not keep up with any of the cars on the run-up. So
Interesting.
I also think it's tire dependent. You know, the grippier tire you have, you can afford to put more weight over the front. So
Yeah.
it's very dependent on setup and grip and
And I think
cars.
all the tires in FD now have stepped up compounds and stuff. So back in the day, I remembered doing anything you possibly can to get more rear drive out of the cars, and now it's tire technology is kind of stepping it up in drifting. So
Yeah, and it was easier kind of back then as well to have weight over the back because we weren't carrying as much speed into decel zones, into transitions and things like that. You can manage it a lot easier.
it wasn't as wound up.
Yeah.
Now
Now
you
we're
have-
going really fast forward, and then you have to slow it down on angle. And if you have too much weight over the rear, it wants to keep washing off.
Yeah, it's gotten crazy. I mean, I know, I talk about how dynamic the RTRs are because it's you can watch the toe in and toe out. I mean, we've got two people that have a lot of experience in those cars. Is it as crazy to drive is what it looks like?
Pretty much.
It's insane. Those cars are some beasts, but
Yeah.
you definitely like. It takes a little while to unlock like the full capabilities of it, and like I'm sure now you're a weapon in that thing. It took me a long time just to feel like I could even do a lap. You got it like that.
It is one of the most challenging chassis to drive, but it can reward you when you're used to it. And it's very track dependent too.
Yeah.
I feel like it's better on big tracks with long, consistent corners over this tight and technical. Like all weekend, even though I was looking smooth on the outside, I was like, working hard on the inside to try to make it look smooth.
Yeah, it seems like as soon as you come off throttle, like that dynamic toe flattens out or even goes to like positive toe, and then they're just going wherever they feel.
Yeah,
like
and like the three-wheel motion and
Yeah.
the jumping and skipping. Like this track is bumpy in a normal car, so like when we were jumping, it's like extra bouncy and it's a handful. To be honest, I didn't feel 100% comfortable. I felt a lot more comfortable in Orlando, so I didn't think tonight would be our night, to be honest.
Odie, like obviously your car setup is very different than the RTRs. Like, how often do you look at that and you're like, I still don't get why you're doing this?
No, I totally get why they're doing it. I just don't. I wouldn't like driving that.
Right.
You know, there's so much front bar in those cars that the spring rate is like infinity in the front.
Yeah.
And you could tell driving. You could tell following these cars. I follow James. I'm like, dude, this guy's going up and down like a good 6 inches, constantly, and it's like. It's tough as a driver to have so much dynamic change over and over again. So yeah, I'm more of the school of like, hey, make it easy to drive, and then naturally you'll just go faster.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, obviously you were super fast with a completely different setup, and I mean, that's what I really love about drifting. There's so many different ways that we can attack the same problem, and it looks so different. I mean, from like a general spectator, I'm like, oh, they're all going sideways, but it's like when you really start to nerd out on it and then understand like the arc angles and the way to attack it. Like, I know I overthink the shit out of this, but that's what I love about it is we can do this, and then next year they change a rule, and you guys are like, cool, everything we thought we knew or how to attack this is completely gone. Like if they went with that other Orlando layout, I would love to have seen how guys had to change everything just to get through the track and have enough tire left.
Yeah, left tire would be dead.
Yeah.
It would be challenging.
Would it? Yeah, nothing left.
What I love about the sport too is there's so many different chassis here in
Yeah.
FD, and everyone gets to be about the same speed. Like nobody is wildly different, and so many different setups, tires, cars, everything, and it's really cool. By the end of the weekend, everyone's very close to the same speed.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to there being a rule with the bigger the tire, the more weight you got to carry in your car, right? And I think the next chapter is like horsepower to weight ratio, like finding that, because everyone is chasing, let's get a bigger tire in the car, we're going to go faster, right?
Yeah.
And now we're all making over 1,000 horse, so
Horsepower or torque to weight?
Okay,
Yes, that's a good
fair
point.
enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we'll see some of the smaller tire cars that are lighter, maybe could mellow out in the power. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I look at like Stuckey, who's like barely on the weight limit and like just a completely different car, completely different build. And it's like, I think once he gets his head wrapped around a brand new vehicle, it's going to be so different. I mean, just not even being able to carry inertia, right? Just not having an extra 600-700 pounds.
It's so much easier on everything too, like the drivetrain, the tire, tire wear, everything is just easier on everything when you're losing that weight.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're not breaking stuff as often. So, I mean, we saw like Matt Field blowing out those studs, which I'm sure that's got to be the worst feeling in the world. Because I would assume you know immediately. You're like, oh yeah, that wheel's gone. I don't know. Have you guys ever done that? Have you had?
I don't think, touch wood, I've never lost a wheel.
Oh no, please don't happen.
I've never broken an axle on my car, and I broke 2 this weekend.
Really?
Yeah,
Whoa.
so that's a new thing for me.
Huh.
Yeah.
You just found your service point. Like
Yeah.
how long are they in there?
Either that or I've never driven this thing as hooked up as it was.
Yeah.
That might be the case.
that might be the case.
Yeah.
I think this track was very rewarding to just massive, traction. So.
Yep.
Yeah. I do want to ask, so judges deemed fault for both of you guys on that one. Thoughts on that one? Like, Adam, you were cooking going into that, and then Odie, they basically stated that, like, you should have lit off the tires sooner. You can agree or disagree. I don't care. But, like, I want to get your thoughts. I have both of you here.
Do you want me to sit in the middle here?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's fair. I didn't even really understand what that meant for me as a lead driver as I went into my lead.
Oh.
But I feel like I agreed with that. I was definitely closing the gap because I kind of got rolled a little bit. And then looking back at the stream, I feel like you were a little bit later to light off than maybe other runs. So I understand that, but I don't even know what that means. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, I mean, from my perspective, I threw more grip at the car.
Uh-huh.
So I charged way harder into zone 1 because I didn't want to be shallow.
Yep.
And I think a byproduct of that is like lots of angle, and even if the car lights off, it's not like a smoke show. Like
Yep.
it is wound the freaking up, and
interesting.
it gets a little while to get the tires rolling. So, but I mean, if I don't light off, the front pushes. So I know I was lighting off because it was wound up. Yeah, I mean, that's my perspective. I'd love to watch video. You know, I never get ahead of myself and go, oh, this should have been that or that, because watching from the outside perspective, like, then you put yourself in the judge's position as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd hate to be there.
yeah, no, dude,
Yeah, it's the
especially.
worst.
Oh man, after
Respect
this
to the
weekend,
judges always, all over the world. Like, that is the worst job ever.
I was a judge once, and I said I'll never do this again.
Oh
Never.
really? I didn't even
Yeah.
know you did that. That's
Just
really-
once?
Well, I used to do my own events, and I would judge them because I was like, oh, it's not fair for me to drive my own events.
Oh, right.
And then I judged it. I was like, I'm watching all my friends have fun. Fuck that. I'm driving. Someone else can be the judge, and if that's the greatest thing because I just like driving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. All right, last set of questions. Work down the line. What's up? What's next for you, James? What do you got on the horizon? What's coming up?
Let me think. So I had 5 weeks in a row. This is my 5th week in a row, so I'm just gonna get home.
Cut the
and
grass?
Yeah, I cut the grass. It needs to be cut. Looking forward to that. Hopefully it's not raining. So yeah, I am slightly thinking about Drift Masters. Do I do the next round? That's in 2 weeks, but it's in Finland, so it's
Right.
very far away. Car needs work. The week after that is Goodwood, and the week after that I think is FD. So
Jesus.
if I do it, it's gonna be still back to back to back to back.
You're
so
going to have to hire someone to cut your grass.
yeah, that might be a wise idea.
What a great problem to have.
Yeah, so I don't know. I need to rest because I feel exhausted. It's been a long few weeks, but I'm really happy. Like, it's been amazing,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna reset, get back home, and see what's next. But if not, it's gonna be, if I don't do Drift Master, it's gonna be Goodwood and then back to FD.
Nice. Cody?
Well, I had this wild dream, like literally last night, my wife and I sat down. We're like, hey, we're going to hit up my family reunion in Europe right after
cool.
this.
Sick.
And then Simon's motor had an issue, so I'm going to have to work my butt off on Simon's motor. And then the icing on the cake is like, if I hit up my family reunion in Europe, I go hit up Gateville just to hang out for a day and then fly back and do this. But I don't think that's on the table anymore because we got, again, a lot of work to do.
I was kind of hoping I might be doing Gutbill. We'll see. I mean, I got some feelers out. So that'd be kind of. You and I keep running into each other in Europe randomly.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I know. Like, Germany. Okay, what's
It's
going
always
on?
fun to go to Europe randomly.
Yeah, big fan of that. All right, Adam. I gotta ask. Like, what's next?
Well, tomorrow we got Pro Bro down. Are either you guys driving?
I'm gonna hang out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a
you
good
brought
time.
me for a ride there last year, so if you're driving,
that's
I'll
cool.
jump in again.
Yep, yeah, we'll do that. You can take my car for a rip, see how you like it.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, I got that, and then Wednesday I go to Poland for Ultrace, and from there we drive to the Nürburgring. We're doing a little road trip. Go drive there, and then from there to Finland, and we're gonna go do Drift Masters. And from there, I'm supposed to do my first rally stage in Colorado, but I want to see if I can pivot and do St. Louis.
I was hoping you'd say that. I was hoping
You're
you'd say
hooked.
that.
I really want to do the rally thing just because like I've been there was the one event this year that I could make happen with the schedule.
Right.
But like my setup is really good here, and it's probably going to be the same for St. Louis. So I'm like,
I wanted
Keep
to
it
do it
going.
last. Yeah, I wanted to give you time to think about that
yeah.
answer. Just
Well,
in
here's the
case.
thing, right? If I'm trailering a rig and a team to Colorado to run a rally, it's kind of the same thing to go run St. Louis.
Yeah, I mean, and you're deep in the points now, so like.
Basically,
Yeah.
see you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drifting
Yeah.
took me away from rally, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's so freaking awesome and fun.
I know.
Oh man, I can see the.
He'll be
dilemma
in St.
going on.
Louis for
Yeah,
sure.
I know. We'll see him in St. Louis.
I don't know.
All right, guys. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Thank you so much for doing this. Tons of fun. Go have some drinks. Have a good night. We'll see
Thank
you guys
you all.
soon.
Thank you.
All right,
Cheers.
thanks. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I absolutely love doing these shows. Really, really appreciate anybody who listens in or watches the videos. If you didn't watch, highly recommend it because, like, the facial expressions alone are worth it. And if you did watch, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But, yeah, absolutely loved it. I'm glad the drivers take a few minutes of their time to come hang out. And we'll catch everybody on the next one.